Here's a set of big block Chevrolet oval part heads that came into the shop, and I'm rebuilding them. They have got 188 exhaust valves and 219 intake valves. Now, if you can see, this was a common thing about 30 years ago. Guys with Newen machines would just take a 60 and cut it down as far as they would go, and then they would pretty much put a 45 on it and get the valve where they want it to seat, and maybe tune this in a little bit more, and then hit it with a 30 and call it done. That is the valve job. Same with the intake. Of course, on a big block, usually there's not a lot of material here. You can put a 45 on it and narrow it up, but you're never going to see usually that much of the 60. And guys used to wonder, we used to do these way back when a lot of guys didn't have seat and guide machines in town. Unless you went in there and bowled it all out, you weren't going to gain anything with the bigger valves. And a lot of guys always wondered, hey, I should be getting 20 horse or better with these bigger valves, and I don't see nothing. Well, they didn't address any of this either. So I'm not going to get into percentages and how much I took out and what I take out and all that. But if you look at this head, this is the other head that I've just done. You can see that I've gone in there and I've profiled out the chamber. I've got a nice radius exhaust side. I prefer to use that usually on a big block. And you can see that I've got multi-angles here. And I went in there with a 15 and faced it off, and then did some chamber work in here to unshroud the valves. Because another thing is a lot of guys, they think you just put the bigger valves in these heads and you're done. Well, there's more to it than that. If you don't unshroud them, you're pretty much just spinning your wheels. You're not really going to gain nothing. These heads, I can put them on the flow bench, but probably I'm not going to do that because it's a simple valve job. I didn't really plan on going through and doing as much work as I did on these. I'm sure that they're heads and shoulders above what was done before. It's just kind of a heads up, if you've got an old set of iron heads and you take them to a machine shop, make sure they got a seat and guide machine where they can profile or use a profile or cutting system, because if you don't, then you're not going to bowl them out or you're not going to port them. Don't bother putting the bigger valves in because they're not going to gain nothing for you. I hope you get something out of this.